I'm Suzanne Stevens. He was called to a domestic violence call at this apartment complex. Now that former CCPD officer is accused of indecency against the very woman he was sworn to protect.
I'm Tony Jaramillo on the south side in the Barcelona Estates neighborhood. About a year ago, homeowners told me drivers speeded through this neighborhood. And about 1 year later, I'm working to see if that's still the case.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. I'm Michelle Hoffman. Brian Hoffman is off, but we are excited because it is Friday today. Let's check in with meteorologist Diamond Dixon for a look at our roadways to get you ready for your morning. Good morning, Diamond.
Good morning, Michelle. We made it to the end of the week together.
We need a little more coffee. I probably had 2 cups.
And I'm just up here with good old water, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll take a break from coffee, but the brain cells need it. But we're going to take a look at how these cells of traffic are looking. Yeah. Well, in our 6 o'clock hour, we usually don't see a lot of traffic until towards the middle half of the hour, towards the end. So that's good news for you if you haven't headed out the door just yet. We always take a look at our traffic, though. At the top of the hour from Portland to the Harbor Bridge, we still have some good flow of traffic going. We've been seeing that throughout the morning over on our USS Lexington Skycam from First Community Bank. That traffic's been moving smooth, and there's also a new light on the Harbor Bridge. Now, also looking at Ocean Drive. Ocean Drive looks good this morning, as well as SPID. We had a minor slowdown not too long ago along NS Johnson Road. That has also cleared up, and Saratoga's looking good this morning. We also had a minor slowdown along Waldron Road and Flower Bluff Drive earlier. Both have also cleared in the past 10-20 minutes, and the JFK Causeway is looking good this morning. If we take a look at our AM drive times, depending on where you're headed, from downtown to the island, approximately 22 minutes, and from Portland to downtown, approximately 8 minutes, and just around 15 minutes if you're headed from Calallen to downtown. So once again, roadways are looking good and clear. Of course, throughout the broadcast, you'll see more updates on traffic along the way and more news and weather headed to you.
Diamond, thank you so much. A federal appeals court is set to hold a hearing today in a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. The lawsuit seeks to block the IRS from sharing taxpayer information with ICE and DHS. Undocumented workers are legally required to pay federal taxes on their income, and the plaintiff in the case argues that the information is being used to track down illegal immigrants in the government's mass deportation efforts and not for criminal prosecutions. In May, U.S. District Court judge ruled that the data sharing practice was lawful. Now an appeals court will weigh in on the case. And a federal judge in Oregon is expected to listen to oral arguments today on the state's motion to block President Trump from deploying National Guard to Portland. The president made the announcement over the weekend in a Truth Social post. So roughly 200 members of the Oregon National Guard are being placed under federal control for 60 days to protect immigration enforcement officers and government facilities. The deployment is being made over the objections of state leaders. The Oregon Department of Justice filed a lawsuit to temporarily block the move. And the Trump administration has notified Congress that the United States is in an armed conflict with drug cartels. President Donald Trump says the cartels are non-state armed groups and has designated them as terrorist organizations. He has also determined cartel smugglers are unlawful combatants, not criminals with due process rights. This legal justification removes traditional due process and allows the country to lawfully kill them. The notice provided to Congress follows at least 3 U.S. military strikes over the last month that have killed 17 people.
I'm Suzanne Stevens. He answered a domestic violence call at this apartment complex. Now that former CCPD officer is accused of indecency against the very woman he was called to protect.
In the police academy, Alicio Martinez trained to protect and serve. 8 years later, he's accused of abusing that badge inside a victim's apartment. On August 17th, Martinez and his partner responded to a domestic disturbance call at the Palms at Blucher Park Apartments. Once the call was cleared, Martinez walked the victim back to her second-story apartment alone. The victim, who didn't want to go on camera, tells Chris 6 he turned his body camera off and threw it on a pile pile of clothes inside her bedroom. She told investigators Officer Martinez then lifted up her dress, ran his fingers down her spine, grabbed her buttocks, and said, "Wow, firm," then left. The victim said she'd asked for a female officer several times, but those requests were ignored. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by Chris 6 News, hallway video shows Martinez going in wearing his body camera, but leaving with it off. He clips it back on in the hallway. Martinez later told investigators he walked her back because she had been drinking and gave conflicting accounts about why the camera was off. The victim told me, "If I had been intoxicated, I would not have made it up 2 flights of stairs. He's just trying to cover up his awful mistake." Also in the affidavit, a discussion Martinez had with his partner. In an elevator, he said, "That's firm, bro." He also asked, "Is she cute? Would you?" His partner muting the camera during the exchange. In a statement, Corpus Christi police say the case is active and open. They say the department takes all allegations of crime and misconduct seriously and investigates thoroughly.
Martinez resigned from the Corpus Christi Police Department on Monday. He turned himself in the next day after an arrest warrant was issued. He's charged with indecent assault, a Class A misdemeanor. In Corpus Christi, I'm Senior Neighborhood News reporter Suzanne Stevens, Chris 6 News.
Welcome on back, Coastal Bend. Oh, we're seeing some good old traffic moving along. Well, that's our CCAC camera over at Snoopy's Pier, and it is a nice day to wake on up for your Friday. We have some semi-rain chances in the forecast. That's what we're going to call it, so that your hopes aren't super duper high. We're going to break it all down today. But looking at those currents in your neighborhood as far as temperatures goes, a little bit more of us in the 60s, so we'll take it. 66 for Kingsville and 67 for Beeville, 68 for Hebronville, and 69 for here in Corpus Christi. Low 70s for Rockport at 72, and warmest on our map right now, 77 in Port Aransas. Now, we're also seeing a little bit of impacted visibility. That's going to be for Beeville as well as Rockport and Alice, slightly Hebronville, but we have, once again, some more cloud cover that will be happening throughout our day, promoting some of our rain chances. Now, with those past 10 hours, about 10 hours ago, we were, yes, at 82 degrees, and then we dropped down to 72 at 1 a.m., and now we're at 69. We kind of been holding on to 69 for a few hours now. And yesterday, we had a high of 93. That record was set in 1977 with a high of 97, so we weren't too far off, but we are far from the average at 88 degrees. So if you've been following along this week, I mentioned that we have these above normal temperatures that are kind of sticking around at least through mid-month of October. Now, temperature and feel like wise, as we just went over from in your neighborhood, once again, with those temperatures and feels likes right now, we're kind of right on par with those numbers. You'll see a little bit of a difference in value closer to our coast there for Port Aransas, where we're at 77, feeling like 79. Current winds also calm out of the north. They'll pick up later on this morning and into the early afternoon. But for now, not a whole lot happening with the wind. Hour by hour, we'll break out into those 70s closer to 8 a.m., low 80s by 10 o'clock, upper 80s by 1 o'clock, just on the cusp of 90 there. It will only be in the 90s for a brief period today with our increased cloud cover, passing showers as well, back to the upper 80s by 5 o'clock tonight. Those feel like temperatures will feel warm between about 11 to 6 today. Warmers appear between 2 and 4 p.m. And we're expected to see the high closer to 92 degrees today with those sunny stray showers for us. So don't go anywhere. We're still tracking rain chances all throughout the day and weekend.
So it's now day 3 of the government shutdown. Coming up after the break, Scripps News Group Nathaniel Reed will join us with the latest. Hey, welcome back, folks. 6:12 this Friday morning. You're getting a live look from our SPID Skycam. Traffic flowing pretty smoothly this Friday morning. Looking good out there. 69 degrees outside right now as well. We will check in with meteorologist Diamond Dixon in just a bit to see what's going on with our forecast. But first, we head to Washington, where it's day 3 of the government shutdown. Now, despite House Republicans passing a short-term spending bill weeks ago to keep the government open through November 21st, not enough Democrats in the Senate supported the bill. To talk more about this government shutdown, we bring in Scripps News Group Nathaniel Reed. Good morning, Nate. So senators are slated to vote again today. Is today's vote to reopen the government expected to even pass?
Yeah, Michelle, look, a similar outcome expected to the previous 3 times that they've tried to hold this government funding vote. It is expected to fail unless something seismic changes here on Capitol Hill. A lot of questions, though, about which side is going to back down off of their demands. Up to this point, Republicans claim that there's nothing to negotiate on. They do not want to give in to any of Democrats' demands. Democrats looking for a permanent extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits, which expire at the end of this year. If those are not extended, if you get your insurance through your state's marketplace or exchange, you could see far higher prices going into open enrollment for next year, 114% higher, according to the Kaiser Family Foundations. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimating that that could cause millions of people to lose their health insurance due to cost over the next decade. But Democrats are dug in. They're making clear they will not accept anything less than a permanent extension of those tax credits. Republicans saying, get lost. Here's Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Will you accept anything less than a permanent extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies?
The legislation that House Democrats and Senate Democrats have introduced together relates to a permanent extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Of course, the American people should accept nothing less.
When that vote happens later this afternoon, there's a lot of thinking here from the Senate Majority Leader John Thune that if it does not pass, they're just going to send lawmakers home for the weekend, meaning this government shutdown could last at least until next week. For millions of federal workers, there's a lot of uncertainty about when they're getting their next paycheck. As we've talked about so many times, there are many federal workers who are forced to work without pay up until that government shutdown ends. They will receive back pay. That is guaranteed. But again, for many government employees, this is a lot of economic uncertainty, and the Trump administration announcing that they might start laying off federal employees permanently as soon as today. A lot of questions what departments and agencies could be affected, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much, Nate, for the information, and thank you so much for the time that you spent looking into this. We hope you have a great weekend.
Sure.
Welcome on back into the room. Meteorologist Diamond Dixon here looking at our forecast highs for today. Well, once again, we will have upper 80s and low 90s for our highs of the day. That also has to deal with those passing rain showers as well as increased cloud cover throughout our afternoon and even a little bit past that. Now, as we look at those temperatures, we're looking at closer to 92 for here in Corpus Christi. That's going to also be about the same for Beeville, Robstown, and Kingsville. And low 80s to even upper 80s along the coast. We're talking 82 to 88 degrees, and that's also up to 90 for Hebbronville. So once again, we're getting that mini cool down because of the increased cloud cover from today. But before we get into our highs, if it's time to walk your dog, this is Lola, and Lola would like to go on a walk today. From 8 to 12, we're looking at temperatures ranging from 73 to 87 degrees, still under 90, and we'll have a north wind that shifts a little bit to the northeast, closer to 10 miles per hour from 11 to 12. So those walking conditions look very nice for Lola. Now, looking at Muggy Meter, we are once again increasing in humidity and going between humid to very humid, almost to oppressive. We need our increasing dew points for those rain chances. The clouds have to cry at some point. So what that means for us is we do have these passing showers throughout the day. That big weather picture on why those chances look a little bit slimmer is that a lot of our rainfall activity is happening over the Gulf and not so much close to the coast. So it has to get a little bit closer. You can also see a lot of that rainfall activity and showers, thunderstorms is near Florida. So once again, and over the northern portion of the Gulf. So we will see some passing showers, but once again, we got to get it a little bit closer to us here at home. Now with Future Tracker, you can see some showers starting to pop up close to us by 7 o'clock and into our 8 o'clock window, and all morning long. We're going to see it go a little bit into increments of 2 hours. So even at 10 o'clock, a lot of our rainfall activity is over the Gulf, and then it moves a little bit south of Corpus Christi there and south of Kingsville and just to the east of Falfurrias before we'll get still that more increased cloud cover. We're hitting the noon hour and into 3 o'clock. It looks to dissipate a bit, and then we'll get another little wave of those showers and passing thunderstorms that are possible. And looking out to the next 7 days, those rain chances gradually increase, but those still stay between stray and isolated on the cusp of widely scattered for us. Now, those aren't the most prominent rain chances, but they're at least around those daily rain chances for us. So it kind of keeps our forecast high temperatures a little bit near normal. We're still above normal because that average for the week is 88, and we're still looking at those upper 80s and low 90s for a lot of our neighborhoods. But once again, don't go anywhere. We'll continue to track those rain chances here in the forecast.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew Bishop, and we've got TAM UCC volleyball for you just ahead. Did the Islanders come out on top? Find out after the break.
This is your 6 Sports Report.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew Bishop with some Thursday volleyball for you. I was out at TAM UCC this afternoon as the Islanders took on the East Texas A&M Lions. Let's check out the highlights. The Islanders had a packed house thanks to students from Sam Houston, Yeager, and West Oso Elementary Schools. TAM UCC started off strong, taking set 1. Early second set, and Kenry Pruitt delivers an ace. Nice serve from the freshman. Later in the set, Lions and Islanders battle at the net, but check out the hops from Jada Rawls-Fletcher, another talented freshman on this roster. And here's a little bump, set, spike action. Libero Brooklyn Yeager gets it to Virginia Vanderwerf, who sets Caitlin Bauman for the kill. The Islanders' teamwork was on display offensively. Here's a nice kill from Tatum Mason off the set from Vanderwerf. But East Texas A&M's block game was too strong. And after dropping set 1, the Lions came back to take sets 2, 3, and 4. The Islanders fall 16-25, 25-21, 25-18, and 25-21. I spoke with head coach Steve Green about what went wrong for the team after a successful first set.
I think the effort was there in our heads, but we weren't making the moves that we typically make. And so then that turned into hesitation. When that turns into hesitation, then everything kind of collapses. And so, the game's played in a really small space, and if one person hesitates, everybody else really struggles. And so it happened at the tail end of the second set for sure, and then it carried over, unfortunately, in the third and fourth.
The Islanders are back at the Dugan Center on Saturday hosting Northwestern State. Match starts at 1 p.m. I'm Drew Bishop, Chris 6 Sports.
Well, we are taking another look outside our First Community Bank Skycam over there at USS Lexington, overlooking that New Harbor Bridge. Seems that traffic's moving on smooth at 6:23 this morning. We'll see also on our local road maps to see how we're doing as far as traffic flow goes. Now, we always talk about how traffic starts to pick up into our 6 o'clock hour, closer to 6:30 and beyond. But from Portland to the Harbor Bridge, as we just saw on our Skycam, traffic's moving smooth in both directions if you're headed in that direction. Ocean Drive is also looking good, as well as SPID and Saratoga. Maybe school drop-offs haven't happened just yet, but they'll be on the way. Waldron Road is seeing a little bit more of a slowdown this morning than what we've seen this week, so be mindful if you are headed towards Waldron Road. Flowerbluff Drive also looking good this morning. Those improvements have been made in the past 10-15 minutes, and the JFK Causeway is also looking good in green and clear this morning. Here's a look at your AM drive times depending on where you're headed on out the door, ranging between 8 and 22 minutes. Once again, that's it for your traffic report for right now. We'll have more news and weather on the way.
I'm John Matteries. Why wait till Black Friday to do your shopping? I'll show you why you can get some early holiday sales this week.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, good old Friday morning. It's meteorologist Diamond Dixon with a live look outside our CCAC camera over at Snoopy's Pier. Traffic moving a little bit smooth this morning. Not a whole lot of action traffic-wise, But as far as that forecast goes, well, we're going to track some showers today in the forecast. Not a whole lot of showers, but it'll be some shower activity, mostly sunshine for the most part. But we did see a little bit more of our neighbors waking up into the 60s this morning. Similar to our Wednesday, yesterday we were a little bit warmer and had most of our neighborhoods in the low 70s. So yay for the small winds. We're looking at temperature right now of 67 in Beeville, same for Robstown and Valfudias, 69 here in Corpus Christi, same for Freer, and 65 for San Diego, 66 for Hebbronville. A little warmer there near the coast, 78 for Port Aransas and 76 for the Naval Air Station and 72 for Rockport. Our current winds are very light at the moment, pretty calm, a little bit out of the northwest, and they will continue to shift a little bit throughout our morning, but they won't be generally too high as well. Looking at that hour by hour, we'll break out into those 70s by 8 o'clock this morning, 82 by 10, upper 80s by 12. On the cusp of 90 by 1 p.m. today. Those 1 p.m. to about 3 p.m. is where we'll really see kind of our warmer part of the day, or feel like temperatures more so in the warmest part. So we're looking at between 12 and about 6, 2 to 4, warmest part of the day though, feeling like 96, but we'll also have increased cloud cover. And what we've been noticing trend-wise is that our 10 a.m. and our 8 a.m. are very much on par with feel like temperatures, and they're around the same time in 87. So once again, we cool off a little sooner as well. We're looking at a high of around 92 today, sunny with stray showers. And as well as for around the neighborhood, we're looking at those low 90s, upper 80s, 92 for Robstown here in Corpus Christi, Kingsville and Beeville, and 80s elsewhere. So if you're walking the dog this morning, it's a good time. This is Lola. Lola's ready for a walk between 8 to 12. Will be between 73 and 87 degrees with a north wind, just around 10 miles in those last 2 hours there. But as far as those paw pads, no problem at all as far as how hot it'll be outside, but we will be muggy between very humid and slightly there on the cusp of oppressive. With our increased dew points is giving us that opportunity to see some good old rainfall. The big weather picture is that we're seeing more so that shower activity over the Gulf. We need it a little bit closer to the coast, which is kind of limiting some of our rain chances for us. So we can take a look at future tracker. We'll get some of those showers throughout the morning and into our neighborhoods close to the coast, though, as you can see that this activity is so much more so over the Gulf. It makes its way a little bit inland closer to the afternoon, clearing out into 3 with another wave closer to our evening by 5 and 6, and a couple of those once again passing clouds as well. We'll have an opportunity to see showers also this afternoon, promoted by our afternoon sea breeze, but for the most part our chances of rain are just a little bit lower, but we will have daily chances through the weekend and as well as early next week. So that's going to be our little bit of a sweet spot that we're looking forward to. You could also see here rain chances for the next 7 days kind of stay between stray and isolated. So we'll continue tracking our rain chances coming up.
Thank you so much, Diamond. So if you're looking for something spooky to do this weekend, coming up after the break, we have a look at what's going on around town in this week's Coastal Bend weekend.
Now, say hello to your neighbors. This is your Chris 6 News Sunrise Shoutouts.
Hello, KRS 6 Sunrise team. We're Port Vida Academy at Corpus Christi in the neighborhood, and we want to wish our neighbors across the Coastal Bend a great morning and a great day.
Hey, we want to say good morning to our neighbors over at Port Vida Academy as well. We hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend. And folks, if you want to send us your own shout out video, just make sure you scan the QR code on your screen or go to our website, christv.com.
Now, the local events and fun things to do. It's Coastal Bend Weekend with the Hoffmans.
The first Coastal Bend weekend of October is really giving all the seasonal vibes, from spooky festivities to fall favorites. There's something for everyone to enjoy. So let's start in your neighborhood in Robstown.
For an amazing time, head over to Rockin' K Farms. Their Fall Fest is officially underway, and it's packed with lots of family fun. Get lost in the corn maze, pick the perfect pumpkin, slide down the mega slide, and enjoy plenty of food, drinks, and sweet treats. This Saturday even comes with a bonus, a special fireworks show. Rockin' K Farms is open every weekend through November 2nd, Ticket info is available on our website. October wouldn't be complete without pumpkin patches, trunk or treats, and haunted houses. Luckily, the Coastal Bend has plenty for all. We have a full list of all the spooky stops and festive spots waiting for you on our website. If you're looking for music and culture, head to IBC Bank for the Mariachi Festival, benefiting Driscoll Children's Hospital. Enjoy performances by award-winning mariachi groups, explore a colorful mercado, and grab a bite from local food trucks. The event is open to the public this Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. And for those who love live theater, the Harbor Playhouse is bringing a Broadway favorite to life. Legally Blonde, the musical, is on stage every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through October 26. Follow Elwood's journey from fashionista to Harvard law student in this high-energy, locally performed production featuring our very own neighborhood news reporter, Adam Beam.
And you know what? They do a really good job, too. For more information on events we mentioned and some that we didn't have time for, visit our website. And of course, folks, if you want to see your event featured on a future Coastal Bend Weekend segment, send us a message.
Well, welcome on back there, Coastal Bend. Hey, we're tracking some rain chances today. A little bit on the lighter end, but nonetheless, we'll just track some of this rainfall activity. Closer into 8 o'clock, we'll start to see some of that rain closer to the coast, but into 9 o'clock, it's still a lot hanging out over the Gulf. That's where a lot of the rainfall is and will be situated before coming slightly inland to our neighborhoods. Around 12 o'clock, you can also see lots of shower and thunderstorm activity over the Gulf that slightly makes its way inland, passing showers all throughout the day as well. And even into 7 o'clock, we'll see a shower or two between Beeville and Hebronville. But throughout the weekend as well, we'll see these daily passing showers as well to give us some small rainfall activity each day. Now, these aren't the most prominent rain chances. These are stray and isolated, almost widely scattered. As you could see from those future tracker was showing us, is that they kind of pop up here and there throughout the day. This afternoon we'll also see a couple of showers just from our afternoon sea breeze. So once ahead, looking again at those days ahead for us between now and into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, our more prominent days are looking like Saturday and Tuesday. So you could keep your umbrella on standby, but those rain chances are looking a little minimal at the moment.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michelle Hoffman. So we always have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Diamond Dixon with a look at those roadways this Friday morning. Good morning, Diamond.
Good morning, Michelle. Well, we talked about how this morning has been fairly quiet amongst all of our neighborhoods, but looking at right now, we have our SPID Skycam. Traffic is moving smooth in both directions, and it's 6:41 on our Friday morning, and you know, you're headed out the door to work and taking the kids to school, but there hasn't been any major issues. We've seen some slowdowns on some roads, but they have cleared pretty quickly. So we could take a look at our local maps to see how traffic is flowing throughout our neighborhoods. From Portland and to the Harbor Bridge, we're still looking good this morning, no issues there. And we haven't seen any issues there in general. Now we take it on over to Ocean Drive, still looking good at Ocean Drive, and SPID we just saw on our Skycam, and as well as Saratoga looking good for us this morning. So between those main three, we're looking good. Now taking it on over to Waldron Road, there has been improvement in the past 10-20 minutes, and Flower Bluff has a minor slowdown there on Flower Bluff Drive, and the JFK Causeway is also still looking good and clear this morning. Here's a look at your AM drive times. Once again, depending on where you're headed and on out the door, those times still look good for you. Smooth commute is in your forecast. Well, we'll have more news and weather on the way.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Alice. This week, law enforcement arrested Aaron Garcia. The owner of a vitamin supplement shop is accused of exploiting women using social media. Police tell me they're hearing from several potential victims.
At first, I was shocked. I had no idea there was even things like that out there.
Valerie Puyot has been working with police for months after learning through a friend that some provocative photos of her were on Discord. It's a private online platform for digital communities to share similar interests like gaming. This week, Erin Garcia was arrested for sharing and posting photos of various women, including Valerie, on a Discord server.
I saw myself on there. It was devastating at first, and I was upset, but when I saw how much was on there, the extent of it all, that's when I realized oh, okay, this is really big.
Garcia's electronics were seized from his home and business Get a Grip, a vitamin supplement shop. He was booked into the Jim Wells County Jail and charged with unlawful disclosure of promotion of intimate visual material. Police say since his arrest, several possible victims have come forward in Alice and surrounding areas.
How many cases will be are pending? We don't know. I mean, we just scratching the surface right now on this investigation. So no telling how much more is out there.
Valerie says she's also been approached by possible victims in the Alice community.
I felt like I needed to stand up for some people that I knew would probably just kind of not want to say anything or not do anything.
Police are urging people to stay safe online and never be too trusting sharing private photos. Alice PD are working closely with Discord, who has taken down the server.
Alice Police Chief Eden Garcia urges anyone who believes they might be a victim of Erin Garcia to call police. In Alice, I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter, Chris 6 News.
And of course, folks, if you have any story ideas or tips from the Jim Wells, Live Oak, and Duval County areas, you can reach out to Melissa by scanning the QR code on your screen. And for more on her story, just head on over to our website, christv.com. And now it's time for your neighborhood check-in.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. About a year ago, I was here in the Barcelona Estates neighborhood near Saratoga and Castores, hearing homeowners complain about speeding drivers. Then I asked city leaders what could be done about those drivers. And about a year later, I'm back to see if anything has changed.
So I don't feel that it's subsided or decreased at all.
Homeowners in the subdivision tell me for years, drivers have speeded through their neighborhood, and the speed isn't the only issue.
So I've actually had 2 struck.
In a push to help change something, Scott tells me he collected signatures from people in his neighborhood who also want speed humps installed. Scott's email shows dozens of signatures, which he says met the required percentage to get the city's attention.
We performed 2 separate studies, one in 2024, the other in 2025. Neither of them met the criteria for a speed hump.
Soon after, Scott says he asked to have feedback readers installed on his street. But after speaking to the Public Works Department, I learned because Scott didn't do the petition specifically for the feedback readers, the process never moved forward. Scott Garza tells me he plans to gather signatures again and to keep pushing for devices to help drivers slow down. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
I'm Ana Conejo in Corpus Christi, where a local nonprofit is making sure foster kids in the Coastal Bend have a place to sleep. I share on how you can help Agape Ranch with their final push to provide beds. Agape Ranch, a nonprofit serving foster children and vulnerable families in the Coastal Bend, is hosting its final bed drive of the year. They're aiming to finalize 100 beds in 2025 to meet rising local needs. A bedding donation drive will also be held Saturday, October 4th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Yorktown Baptist Church in Corpus Christi. They're collecting new twin and toddler mattress protectors, bed in a bag sets, and pillows.
Well, hey there again, Coastal Bend. Good morning. It's 6:46 on your Friday morning. I feel like I'm screaming. Well, we're looking outside our CCAC camera over at Snoopy's Pier. We're starting to see glimpses of our sunrise starting there, and also a little bit more traffic flow this morning at 6:47. Well, we'll take a look at currents in your neighborhood to see how we're doing temperature-wise, visibility, and winds. So right now, we're seeing 69 here in Corpus Christi, 68 in Beeville, 67 for Alice, and 66 for Kingsville. Also at 68 is Hebronville, still 70s elsewhere. We're looking at a calm wind out of the north for the most part, all around 5 to 10 miles per hour, and also under that, visibility is being impacted closer to Beeville as well as Rockport, Alice, and a little bit of Hebronville as well. Now, in your neighborhood, once again, those temperatures and feels likes are really close together right now. Not a whole lot of humidity in the mix, but we get that increasing humidity throughout the day as well as increased cloud cover to give us our rain chances. So hour by hour, we will break into our 70s close to 8 o'clock this morning. We'll see our winds increase as well, closer to 10 miles per hour after the noon hour in the upper 80s. And then into 2 o'clock, we will get close to our 90s. Now, it's going to be an interesting day as far as how long we stay in our 90-degree range. Our winds pick up out of the east to 15 miles per hour from 4 to 7, and we'll have increased cloud cover. It still will be sunny, but passing showers, as I mentioned. Those feel like temperatures are going to feel the warmest between 11 and 6 today. Also warmest window between 2 to 4, feeling like 95 and 96. The good news is that our heat risk gradually increases throughout the weekend because of our opportunity of passing showers. So we don't have to worry about heat risk as much. We can see that high of 92 here in Corpus Christi with those stray showers, and around your neighborhood we're also looking at upper 80s, low 90s today. Average high would be around 88 degrees. With that muggy meter, like I mentioned, we're going to be humid, very humid, on the cusp there of just oppressive headed into mid next week with our increased dew points. Right now, a lot of our rainfall activity is over the Gulf. It's going to continue to move a little bit closer to our Texas coast to give us some of those rain chances, but stay tuned to the forecast. It changes all throughout the day, but we'll look forward to some rain here in the Coastal Bend.
Diamond, thank you so much. So early October is stacked with spooky goods sales that officially kick off the holiday shopping season. So Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese looks at what to buy in October so you don't waste your money.
Some of the biggest retailers are bringing back some great fall sales this year, making October a great month to start stocking up for the holidays.
April Thomas wants to get an early start on her holiday shopping.
The goal is always to be proactive and to start in October.
She was thrilled to hear about a trio of early sales this month, including Amazon's Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, Target's Circle Week, October 5th through the 11th, and Walmart's Walmart Deals, October 7th through 12th, with early access for Walmart Plus members.
From Monday to Sunday.
This will all be on markdown?
Yes.
Walmart's Matt Goen says it's a good time to upgrade some personal electronics.
HP 16-inch laptop here.
Other top buys, according to Consumer Reports' Samantha Gordon, are kitchen appliances.
If that's something that you need or something you're thinking about buying someone for the holidays, this is a great time to find a good sale on those items.
Smart thermostats.
Smart home products in general, we do see a lot of big sales for, especially Prime Big Deal Days.
And for fall cleanup, yard gear.
Lawnmowers, leaf blowers, string trimmers.
For a major tech gift like a gaming system, Gordon says wait until Black Friday for the lowest prices. Otherwise, if you see a price drop, grab it in October.
There's a lot of gift ideas out right now in the stores that you may want to check out.
So you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
A federal appeals court is set to hold a hearing today in a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security and ICE. The lawsuit seeks to block the IRS from sharing taxpayer information with ICE and DHS. Undocumented workers are legally required to pay federal taxes on their income. The plaintiff in the case argued that the information is being used to track down illegal immigrants in the government's mass deportation efforts and not for criminal prosecutions. In May, U.S. District Court judge ruled that the data sharing practice was lawful. Now an appeals court will weigh in on the case. A federal judge in Oregon is expected to listen to oral arguments today on the state's motion to block President Trump from deploying National Guard to Portland. The president made the announcement over the weekend in a Truth Social post. Roughly 200 members of the Oregon National Guard are being placed under federal control for 60 days to protect immigration enforcement officers and government facilities. The deployment is being made over the objection of state leaders, and the Oregon Department of Justice filed a lawsuit to temporarily block the move. The Trump administration has notified Congress that the United States is in an armed conflict with drug cartels. President Donald Trump says the cartels are non-state armed groups and has designated them as terrorist organizations. He has also determined cartel smugglers are unlawful combatants, not criminals with due process rights. This legal justification removes traditional due process and allows the country to lawfully kill them. The notice provided to Congress follows at least 3 U.S. military strikes over the last month that have killed 17 people. An immigration judge refused to reopen Kilmar Abrego Garcia's asylum case. He's a 30-year-old Salvadorian who the Trump administration wrongfully deported to El Salvador in March. According to the Department of Homeland Security, the decision means his original removal order stands. Garcia was previously denied asylum back in 2019. The judge in that case stopped his deportation due to threats he received from a gang in El Salvador. Garcia has been in the U.S. since he was a teen. His wife and children are U.S. citizens, and he has 30 days from Wednesday to appeal the decision. Corpus Christi police say a man arrested at the scene at Wednesday's shooting on the west side admitted he fired the shot that left another man dead. That shooting happened just after 1 at a home on Navajo Street. When police arrived, they found a man who had been shot in the stomach. He later died at a local hospital. When the suspect, 44-year-old Jeffrey Berger, was detained, he told officers he had a revolver. Berger claimed the victim had stolen from him in the past, and that's why he, quote, did what he did. He's being charged with murder. And just a reminder, folks, if you're about to hit the roads, work on Aaron Drive is continuing today. Saratoga Boulevard to Summerwind Drive is limited to one-way southbound traffic right now. Driveways are still accessible, and you are asked to follow the posted detour signs to navigate the construction zone for both your safety and the safety of workers.
And now it's time for a look at what's trending. Taylor Swift is now in her showgirl era. The singer-songwriter's new album is now available on all major streaming platforms. It's called The Life of a Showgirl, and it will also be sold on vinyl, CD, and cassette. This is Swift's 12th original studio album and her first since she became the owner of her entire music catalog. Aside from getting engaged to Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, Swift has kept a relatively speaking low profile since she ended her record-setting Eras tour in December. I'm a big Swiftie fan. Not like, okay, I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie, but I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. You're like, I guess, do I even know?
It's cool. I listen to her occasionally.
Well, when I was a teen, heartbreak moments.
She had it on lock. Yeah. She had the songs ready for you. That's right. Yeah. Sitting on the bleachers, Yeah. But I like her music. I mean, it's good. Yeah. I think that, people can really relate. And that's a big thing when you're influencing people. You need to be able to relate to people that you're catering to. So she does that very well.
Yes. Yeah. Well said.
Thank you very much.
Now, what's going on with our forecast? Because I know we got to get ready for the weekend. And we got to get ready for today especially.
That's right. We have a little bit of a mix of sun today, increased clouds, and also some of those stray showers happening today. Now, temperature-wise, and feels like in your neighborhood, we'll do a little bada bing, bada boom for the forecast, but we're sitting in the 60s for a good portion of our neighborhoods, kind of ranging in those mid to upper 60s and upper 70s closer to the coast for Port Aransas and the Naval Air Station, but 68 here in Corpus Christi. That's also same for Beeville and George West and Mathis and Falfurrias. Now, those winds that I also talked about too, very light at the moment, and they'll increase a little bit later on this afternoon into the evening, where you could see an east wind closer to 15 miles per hour at 6 o'clock. In between that 2 to 6 windows where we'll hit our afternoon high, usually around 4 o'clock. We're looking at around 92 today, and that could also be less than that because of our increased cloud cover. So the warmest part of our day today will be between 11 and 6, and we'll feel warm between 2 and 4. If you're walking the dog, this is Lola. Lola has a good opportunity to walk all day long. It's going to be 73 degrees around 8 o'clock, 86 by 12, so still a northeast wind around 10 miles per hour. It'll be a good time. Now, the big weather picture, we have a lot of our rainfall activity actually over the Gulf. We needed to move a little bit closer to the coast. So if we talk about those rain chances for us, Future Tracker kind of showing us these showers moving through all morning long. A lot of them stay concentrated over the Gulf before actually moving close to the coast. And then some meander a little bit more inland towards this evening by Beeville and Hebronville into 7 and 8 o'clock. And we'll see this like wrap of showers throughout the day. We have these rain chances also all throughout the weekend and early next week, kind of straight isolated though. So when you look at the rain chance timeline, we'll have opportunity to see some showers into our Saturday morning as well as into Sunday morning. Those will also be isolated as well. We're not looking at a major total here of rainfall estimates between kind of now and a week from now, looking closer to about ½ an inch for some of that rainfall. So those subjects, those totals are subject to change at any time. I know, words, man. But looking at our 7-day forecast, we have some daily rain chances, and our temperatures will kind of stay more so near normal with our increased cloud cover. So it's kind of handoff.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I love rain. I love thunderstorms.
Well, thank you so much, Diamond. And folks, thank you so much for joining us on Chris 6 Sunrise. We hope to see you later tonight. Otherwise, have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.